Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's another podcast from us here at M2M. So today, obviously, we just had the race, so we thought we'd have a bit of a chat. We've got a special guest joining us, Adam Morilla, who'll be joining us for a chat and a few things about him and his life and his love of Ferrari. And we just thought we'd have a race review, and we'd have a chat about the last F1 fans standing and how everyone's looking on that. So I think I'm still in on that. I think I got through today, didn't I? So
yeah, hi Toby. Yes, you're still in the latest competition. Yeah, so well done, mate. You've sort of made round 3. So congratulations.
I'm happy. Anyway, I'm Toby here in London.
And hi, I'm Paul here from Birmingham. So Toby, we've got Adam coming on shortly, and just to let the viewers and listeners know, Adam I think has been busy today, so he's going to be watching the Singapore Grand Prix after our little chat shortly.
Right.
So we thought we'd have a little chat about the Singapore Grand Prix now before he comes on. Yeah, a little bit of a bore fest today. Would you agree, Toby?
I was going to say, what are we going to talk about? It's like it's a 30-second conversation, really, isn't it? So, yeah, I mean, terrible. I mean, the whole weekend for us was a little bit of a disaster, I thought, especially the quali, Charles's lap deletion and Carlos in the wall. Not great. So starting 9 and 10, what can you do from there? It's not great. But everything considered, Charles was driving, it was a rocket ship at the end of the race there, the last sort of 20 laps, wasn't he? So fantastic. It's just a shame he couldn't get past Russell right at the end.
I think if Charles had qualified well, he could have been up there, maybe a podium.
Yeah.
The McLarens were super fat. Well, Lando especially being in pole was just absolutely in a different planet. Finishing the race well ahead of Max. But no, it was what it was after qualifying with this circuit. We were never probably going to be looking at podium from 9 and 10. So yeah, unfortunately the race, no safety cars for the first time at Marina Bay this circuit. So yeah, it was a bit of a procession, wasn't it, really, in the end?
I mean, 4 DRS zones, what else are you going to get? It's that's what you're going to get. But yeah, it is what it is. We got some points, which was good for the constructors, I thought. Obviously, Lando finishing first, so closes the gap. But Max second, it's the smallest of margins he could take from it, isn't it? But Piastri again,
Danny
driving...
Rick getting the fastest lap, which was a little bit of a red boy ploy, I think.
Is he done today? Is he done? Is he
I haven't heard any confirmation, but it seems that way by his body language, the way he spoke. Everything's very quiet, but it looks like it might be his last race, which is such a shame.
Yeah, who knows, mate? Who knows? F1 is cutthroat, isn't it? So,
but no, it's great to see him get the fastest lap at the end, come in the pits, which was obviously to help Red Bull. Norris getting one less point. Obviously, that was obviously the plan from Red Bull. So we'll wait to hear confirmation, but I hope it's not his last race, but it looks a little bit like it, to be honest.
Looks ominous, doesn't it? Yeah. So anyway, good luck, Danny Rick, and as for us, on to America, isn't it? So
yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's a little bit of a break now, isn't it, till the next race? So
yeah, it is.
Yeah, we've got USA, Mexico. We've got a bit of time off before the next race for some bizarre reason. I don't know why it's worked like that, but a little bit of time off.
Now, the most important part, last F1 fan standing, and I'm still in, Paul. So give us the lowdown, give us the review, and you've got the trophy hidden around somewhere down there. I know you have. So,
for those maybe don't know what we're talking about, part of the M2M group, we have a Facebook page called Last F1 Fan Standing. It's a bit of fun. I've copied the sort of football version where you pick a driver, and they've got to try and finish in the top 10. And if they do, you go through the next round. And if they don't, you get knocked out. I'm out with Perez from last week, unfortunately.
Hey!
Thank you, Toby. And Toby is through. Did you have, was it Charles? No, Lewis.
I don't mention his name on here. Don't mention his name.
I do apologise. Please edit that out and delete.
I had number 44.
But you have a Team 44 this weekend, which obviously finished in the top 10. So you're through to USA with quite a few other people. But yeah, going back to competition B, A little bit embarrassing that I actually won competition B. Here is the trophy, just
I
here.
love it.
That's the trophy there.
Can you present that to yourself right now?
I might post it to myself. I might go down to the post office and say, "Oh, can you send this second class standard?" But no, I feel a bit embarrassed because Sarah Jane, who was in the final with me today, who I don't think was very well today. So get well soon, Sarah Jane. Hope you're well.
Yeah, absolutely. Get well.
We both had the same drivers. The first 7 drivers. I was in the McLarens, Ferraris, Mercedes, Red Bull, apart from Perez. But obviously, we both presumably would have picked Perez, which would have been a waste of time and null and void. She picked Albon, which you would expect to be probably the best option at the moment. And I just thought, who are going to pick there for Hulkenberg possibility, Tsunoda or Gasly. I thought Gasly's quite a veteran now, isn't he? A bit of Singapore. He'll be safe around there. I picked Gasly. Gasly finished, I think, 17th or 18th. 17th,
I'm not
maybe
sure.
at the end.
Yeah,
very low. He had an awful race. The car must have been dreadful. Unfortunately, because Albon went out, all Gasly needed to do was finish 19th for me to win. So, yeah.
Well done, Paul. Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So I bought the trophy myself, obviously, and it'd be staying here in sunny, well, very wet and cold Paisley at the moment in central England. So there we go. But yeah, so that's done, and we go to USA with competition C, which you're heavily involved with now.
How many left in competition C? Do you know approximately?
I think about 40 started the competition. I'm guessing there's about 21 left. So there's about 50% left after.
I think I'm doing all right because I've got some strong runners left to choose from. So I think I'm doing all right.
Yeah. And it's all about maybe trying to pick someone like a Hulkenberg gets in the top 10. So you've got someone higher up left whenever we've got to start to pick the lower drivers. But it's all good fun, and I think everyone really enjoys it. It's free to enter. So this will probably be the last competition, I think, for this season, I think, depending on how it goes. But then 2025 will go again, and it will be bigger and better than ever.
Bigger and better, onwards and upwards and all that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Thanks so much for coming on, Adam. It's great to have you with us. So for those who don't know, we're all passionate about Ferrari. And tell us a bit about yourself. When did you first start watching Ferrari? When was your first race, and why Ferrari? What's the passion for Ferrari for you?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me onto the podcast. So, my name's Adam from Cumbria, up in the Lake District here. So, Formula One fanatic. So, like the rest of us, just Formula One mad, Ferrari mad, and why Ferrari? Probably because, age 6, 7 years old, had Hot Wheels and they're all red, and then you see them on the, you see them on TV, and you're like, oh, they're actually real cars, So it's just sort of, you've got the toy car, but then you see it on TV, it's like, oh yeah, it's actually real kind of thing, and then the bug, you get the bug from there on in, and you're just watching it, and it's like Murray Walker probably more than anybody getting you into it. And obviously his excitement and passion is just infectious, and obviously that just gets you going as well. And obviously things that happen, and obviously close racing, accidents, or everything that makes a sport, Formula One, that we love, addictive. So that is from there on in, from age 6 up until obviously today, it's just I'm just Formula One mad. So
cool. And then Adam, how many is it generally the British Grand Prix you've been to, and if so, how many Grand Prix have you attended now?
11 Grand Prix, all at Silverstone. So I've yet to make it abroad, but hopefully one day I'd love to go to Suzuka. Is my top one to go to, along with Bahrain as well.
Yeah, I don't we did you've been watching the podcast. We chatted to a guy called Tom about a month ago. Great Ferrari fan, been to loads of Grand Prix. His favourite Grand Prix is the Suzuka, Japan. So yeah, so it's absolutely brilliant. So good one to go to, definitely that one. What's your favourite Grand Prix you've been to in terms of the British Grand Prix? Therefore,
Probably 2022 Silverstone, because that just had
yeah,
absolutely everything. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, even David Croft, some of his commentary can be a bit questionable from time to time.
Yeah, that's a very polite way of putting it,
fantastic.
mate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love
Yeah,
that comment.
on that day, he nailed it. He absolutely nailed it. And obviously,
Mhm.
and Hamilton goes through, when
Yeah,
the Perez
Yeah.
signs Hamilton, there was switching places like
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
you don't really see
Absolutely.
that as often, but my God, that was on the edge of the seat. And then Fernando Alonso just sitting patiently behind them, just waiting
yeah.
for an error to happen, which obviously he didn't do at that time. But there were
Oh,
no
Yeah.
the top five. So that was an incredible one. Obviously, I've been to other dramatic ones, 21 as well, obviously
yeah.
Max and Lewis.
Yeah. Yeah.
That happened in front of me, that
Oh,
one.
you were at Cops
At Cop.
Corner, were you?
Yeah, I was at Cops,
Wow.
and that
That's
was,
great.
I mean, to see a crash at that speed is incredible.
Yeah,
It's
Obviously,
terrifying.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the way he went across the gravel, I mean,
yeah,
obviously
Mhm.
nobody knew it was going to happen, but my God, it's like a
Mhm.
bullet
yeah,
when they
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
across, and then you hear the car go into the tires.
yeah,
It's like
Yeah.
a bomb going off because
yeah,
you don't know what it sounds like until it actually happens in front of you.
Sure.
yeah,
But my
Yeah.
God, that was a big impact, and obviously the TV, confirms all that. But
Mhm.
yeah.
then my very first one, 99 Silverstone,
Oh, yeah,
Michael broke his leg at
Right.
so
yeah.
that
Stoke
was actually a
Corner, yeah.
Yeah.
competition that I won to go to that one.
Oh, brilliant.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Tell us about that.
That was through PlayStation and Formula One
Yeah,
98. We're
yeah,
running a competition
That's great.
for PlayStation 1. So they were running a competition, and you had to submit back in those days through through the post. You answer through the post.
Mhm.
So
yeah,
obviously nothing online. And it
Right.
was you had to submit Mika Hakkinen's pole position time to the nearest thousandth of what he
Wow.
did in Melbourne 98, and I nailed it.
it was spot on, were you?
That's
Yeah, to the
Yeah.
thousandth of a second.
Oh, wow.
So
boy. That's great.
whether or not how many people entered, I've no idea, but obviously that was just through the post back in those days. So
Yeah.
yeah, I got a
And
couple
where
of
were you
tickets to
sitting for
go.
that Grand Prix in '99?
Luffield. I
Oh,
was at Luffield.
Oh,
Luffield.
right.
Oh.
Yeah,
So did
so
you like something come across? Something's happened?
yeah, through the speaker system. Obviously, there
Yeah,
wasn't quite as many big screens then as there was
yeah,
now. 'Cause I only got to see Michael on the parade lap.
yeah.
Obviously,
Sure.
Wow.
it happened in
Yeah.
lap one. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was and then obviously it took maybe a couple of minutes for it to all filter through, and obviously there was a big delay in seeing the car coming on the lorry that
Yeah,
is all
Yeah.
smashed up and everything, and
yeah.
then that was it. Never seen Michael again until
Wow.
2010.
Right.
2010 when he was obviously at Mercedes, so never seen him again.
It's interesting. I mean, I've spoken about this before, but I was there in 21 as well, and I was sat at Luffield, and you said you were at Stowe, right? So
I was at
and
Cops. Cops.
sorry, Cops, and yeah, it was interesting when Max hit the wall. Like I said, I've mentioned this before, but the way the crowd reacted, because it's so pro Hamilton, they were up in arms and having a great time, and I was just sat there thinking that guy could have been killed, like, and I couldn't believe the reaction to the crowd. I don't know what it was like where you were sitting, but I couldn't believe it. I was just like, how are people cheering and thinking this is great, when this guy's just sat in a car, hit the wall at like what 150, 60 mile an hour or something, like outrageous. I don't know what it was like. What was it like where you were sitting? Was it a similar reaction or
Yeah, people were going absolutely bananas because obviously
unbelievable?
there were a lot of Mercedes and obviously a lot of pro Hamilton and
Yeah.
anti Max, but yeah, people do that, but is it really sporting? Probably not, because obviously you don't know what the condition of the driver is, how
Exactly.
hurt is
Yeah.
he and all
Yeah.
the rest of it. But I think the good thing for Max is that he went in backwards. If he'd gone
Hmm.
in forwards, could have been a completely different story. And I think if people were cheering then,
Absolutely.
they wouldn't have been cheering if they knew he was
No.
badly injured.
Yeah, yeah. I hope not. I mean, it was.
No.
I was a bit shocked about that, to be honest, because I mean, it's another thing I was going to ask you is how much you think it's changed at Silverstone over the years since you've been there, as far as cost. Obviously, we know the cost has gone up massively, but just the demographic and the fans. I mean, I have my opinion on it, but it's always nice to hear someone else.
All the years I've been going, more and more female fans go every year. You see a lot
Right,
more. I'd almost say it's almost like a 50-50 split now.
right.
Like that, I camp. So me
Yeah.
and there's a
Okay.
group of us that camp. We stay on the Silverstone Woodlands campsite, and
Yeah.
I'd say it's pretty much a 50-50. And whether or not it's because, Charles and Carlos and Joe, whether there's just eye candy for the female fans, it probably
I
helps
think
them.
so. For me, it just became incredibly territorial, and I didn't like that so much. It's very pro Mercedes, very pro Hamilton, and I just thought I can't be dealing with that. Getting abuse from just for wearing red, and people are giving me abuse just walking around ordering a beer. I'm like, I don't need that anymore. It's not what this sport's about. So I
Do
kind
you
of
still
turned
go,
away from
Adam? Are you still going yearly at the moment? Are you looking to go next year, Adam?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the same
good.
sort of crew that I go with, a catch up with them once a year because they sort of live down south. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
we just get together. It's usually a weekend. We go on Thursday morning and
Yeah.
come back, Sunday evening kind of thing. So it
Right.
is a full weekend, but it absolutely flies by every year.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
this year
know.
was
Yeah.
probably the worst because of the weather. It was absolutely
Yeah.
freezing
Yeah.
in July.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah.
you don't really expect that from Silverstone, but we've been very lucky every other year, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've always had heat waves and good weather, or even if it's not
Mhm.
brilliant weather, it's dry, and that's all you sort of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you pray for when you camp.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to deal with the rain, but
No.
this year we did, and it's not that great, but it was a brilliant quali in a Grand Prix anyway, so it made up for it.
Do you go to watch it in different places, the Grand Prix, the different, obviously parts of the circuit? You're not the
Yeah.
same place every time. Yeah.
Yeah, I always ensure that, at least on the Friday when it's roving,
Yeah.
you can go and basically I'll try and do a full lap
Yeah.
Right.
because obviously, you two sessions,
Yeah.
plus there's everything else going on. So we'll maybe start at club and obviously get back to club at the end of the day, kind of
Oh,
thing. So
okay. You
obviously,
do it on the Friday, do you?
yeah, just do sort of a big, a walk right around the
Yeah.
circuit, around the
Do a
perimeter.
lap.
And
Yeah.
obviously, when
And
you
where
get
where do you
to,
normally go on the Sunday? Does that change or?
yeah, that changes every year. So
Yeah.
this year we were at Club A.
Yeah.
Last year it was Luffield. Prior to that it was 21 at Cops.
Cops. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done
Yeah.
Cops a few times. But it is really good, even though it's such a fast corner. But
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
see them,
Yeah. I was
getting
at
pretty
Cops in
close.
2022 when the Saints win.
Right.
At Cops. I
Mhm.
won't talk about the two babies next to me and behind me, but anyway, it was good enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is really good to watch from. It
Yeah, it
really,
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we always try and get covered, but this year we were uncovered just because
Right.
of
Right.
they put the price up. They put the price
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
It's
And
crazy now,
even
right?
Yeah, and
Crazy.
even now, I mean, on the Thursday,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
the Sky F1's there, or even
Yeah.
like the headline acts, the
Yeah.
music, you
Mhm.
end up having to pay for that. And prior to this
Yeah.
year, you didn't have to pay for it. It was like
No.
free for everybody to enjoy on
It's
the
about
Yeah.
£100 now or something like that, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
on this year we just said for 2024 we just said, oh, we're not bothering with that because
No.
it's
Sure.
not worth the extra. So
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's nuts.
whatever
I
extra it
think.
is,
So
I'll save it
you'll
for
just stay in
merch.
the campsite for the Thursday, so to
Yeah,
speak.
you save the money for merch.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one shirt gone, isn't it? For 100 quid nowadays.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Especially at
Yeah.
Silverstone. Put the prices up a little bit.
yeah.
Mhm.
So moving on a bit there, Adam. We always like to talk to people about their favorite sort of Formula One drivers. I've got a feeling you've got a favorite that's not a Ferrari driver as well. Is that right?
Ex-Ferrari driver Fernando Alonso.
Oh,
Absolutely
okay.
love him.
Right.
Absolutely love him. He's my
Yeah.
favorite. Apart
Yeah.
from Senna, like obviously I did
Yeah.
see glimpses of him.
Yeah.
and I've seen a lot of footage from him ever since. But just Alonso, just everything about him. I just love his attitude, his racing, his racecraft, his persona, his intelligence. I think he's the most intelligent on the grid.
Yeah.
And I still think at his age, he's a lot better than 95% of the grid.
Right. And did you like Alonso before Ferrari as well, or was it when he got to Ferrari?
I've seen him since '99. Been watching him since '99. Since he did Formula Nissan, I think in Spain, Formula Nissan Championship, and then 2000 he was at in the Formula 3000 as it was then.
And then Minardi 2001, wasn't it?
2001, with Paul Stoddart in the Minardi team, and then 2002 he was obviously Renault test driver, and then Flavio brought him for 2003. And then ever since that season, well, I mean, obviously, I already knew how good he was, almost effectively, as an armchair scout, as it were.
And do you still like? I know you're obviously a big Ferrari fan, but you hope he does well still, Aston Martin?
Oh yeah, all the time. I absolutely, I think he's my favorite without question.
Yeah.
So
what was when he retires, like?
What's happening? Yeah.
Well, we've got him for another 2 seasons yet, so
I mean, he's not going to go anywhere when Newey's come there, is he? So he's going to want that. He's going to try and figure something out, but he's always got a bit of a chip on his shoulder with Hamilton as well, isn't he? They're always like, there's something definitely still between them that isn't quite right on track. So I think he's
there is, but I think they've smoothed it out over the years.
Any bit of crap that goes towards Hamilton, I quite like. I'm not a big fan. He's never have been. So,
well, actually, that's not true. Next year, he's joining us next year.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah. No, I mean, I used to like him a lot. I did. I thought he was, and he is unquestionably a great driver. You can't take that away from the guy. But there are other things I dislike about him: his politics and his personality and the fan base, everything he brings. I don't, the superiority thing, just don't need it. But
I think he's very devising, isn't he? He's either you do like him or you don't. I think for Ferrari, I think he's just re-energizing the driver lineups. And I think it's a good thing because we've seen it with Alonso. Usually drivers don't get to this age and they've still got it. And I think with the way
we don't know. I don't know if he still has it though. That's the point. I don't know if he still has it.
I still think he has, and I think a change of environment, I think he'll give him a boost.
I mean, anything that makes us go quicker. Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be nowhere against Ciao in the long run. He'll get podiums. He might even win a race, but I don't think over the season. I think Ciao will absolutely crucify him in the same way George Russell's crucifying him now, right? So, but I just, I'm not. It's not for me. We're getting sidetracked on the Hamilton to Ferrari thing here, which is always.
Anyway, Adam, have you got any other favourite drivers you like apart from obviously Alonso?
For Ferrari, Kimi, love Kimi. I love his sort of turn up and race attitude. Forget the media, say very little, and get in the car, drive, and then go home. And then whenever he did say something, it was very short but very funny.
Yeah.
Obviously his radio messages are probably the best ever. Since
for sure.
In the radio messages and some of his interviews, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
It's just
no, not at all.
You've asked me a question, I'll answer it. I don't care who's listening or who's watching. I'll just answer it how I like to answer it.
Yeah, he's not Hollywood. He just gets on with it. It's down to business. I like that. But
met him once at Silverstone, and I tried to talk to him, and he said nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you met Alonso, by the way?
Well, this year I was with obviously our club at Silverstone this year for the Friday, and we got to go, which was absolutely incredible, for a Ferrari pit tour, courtesy of the House of Peroni, etc., which I didn't have a clue about. So I was literally in there a minute, and somebody said, "Oh, look, there's Alonso." Adam turned around, there's Alonso. Tried to speak to him. Well, I did speak to him, but he didn't say anything. He just had the blinkers on. But I got a fantastic picture of him.
But
So
we
yourself,
are so
did you get a
keen.
picture
Can
of
I class
yourself?
that as meeting him? Because I was literally a yard or two away from him.
Did you get a photo of yourself with him, like a selfie, or just
No, I wanted
him?
to. I wanted to,
Or you
but
just him? Probably
he
walking very fast.
yeah, he was walking at a pace, but I
Yeah.
managed to get a brilliant picture of him.
Oh,
No,
cool.
that's great.
Get it
That's
framed.
cool.
Get it
Oh,
framed.
yes.
Yeah. Sorry, moving on again there, Adam. So Kimi, any other drivers that you're a fan of, maybe from years ago or now?
Obviously, Michael. Everyone loves
Yeah.
Michael.
Of course, yeah.
Absolute
Mhm.
legend for Ferrari. So,
Mhm.
his domination from 2000 to 2004,
Yeah.
I mean, back then you can say it was unrivaled, but now you can say it's rivaled with Max, what Max is doing
Yeah,
the last couple of
for
years, and
sure.
obviously what Lewis has done as well. So, at the
Mhm.
time when I thought, 7 world titles, nobody's going to be around with
No.
to be able to beat that or even equal it.
Yeah.
But Max is what, like 26, 27?
Yeah.
So he's
Yeah.
got at least another 10 years. So he needs another, what, 4 world titles? Or
Yeah.
5 world
I know.
titles?
Yeah.
It's not impossible.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
someone gets to
You
10
could.
world titles, I won't be blown away by it now.
No.
But with the grid catching up, a lot of people always say to me, oh, Red Bull's going to win. You know who's going to win before it's even started, which some Grand Prix you might do, but it's up to everybody else to catch up.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
people have caught up. And
Yeah.
Red Bull can only go so far. They can only improve.
Yeah.
Of
Their
course.
improvements can be smaller than everybody else. And
Mhm.
obviously now McLaren have really caught up. We've had,
Mhm.
obviously, bar today, I don't know today's result, but last 4 races, 4 different winners. It just shows how much
For
it really
sure. I mean,
has.
like you say, I mean, these within these current rules, they can only improve so much,
Yeah,
and what do you want to call it, like a ceiling. They can all reach that peak of that performance, and Red Bull hit it first. And I
yeah.
think everyone, like you say, be catching up. McLaren have now hit it, but Red Bull have made the car worse because they're trying to figure out how they can improve when you can't improve. I mean, do you know what I mean? So it's like now they've got to figure out. They've literally got to go backwards to go forwards, and I think that's where they're at.
And the brilliant thing is with the sliding scale that the FIA have for developments, obviously top constructor means less time in the wind tunnel and so on and so
Yeah,
forth. So that
yeah.
helps as well. And obviously with, McLaren, I can't remember what, third or fourth last season in the constructors.
I
Fourth.
can't remember. Yeah, something
Yeah.
like
So
that.
obviously they have more wind tunnel time and,
Hmm.
I think the sliding scale is brilliant in terms of obviously if you're the top constructor at the end of the season,
Hmm.
you have the least time in the wind tunnel and so on. So obviously, Williams and Kick
Yeah.
Sauber have the
Yeah,
most time, but we can see what Williams are doing. They're really
Yeah.
putting their resources to use, and
Yeah.
obviously versus
mhm,
Sauber, a team of a similar size,
Yeah.
you can see that they
absolutely.
really are effective. And I
Yeah.
think Sauber are just sort of cruising for this season and probably next
Yeah.
season until Audi come in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're on
Yeah.
cruise and collect mode, them
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Audi coming in? Do you think they're going to nail it, or do you think it's going to take, I mean, I think it's going to take a few seasons for them to get underway to anywhere near as competitive. But a lot of people are saying they're going to come straight in and nail it, and I think that's a big ask, to be
I
honest.
think
But
that sounds like very much what Reynard said with BAR in 1999, that they were going
yeah,
to come in and blow everybody away and win the first race and qualify on pole. And what happened? They didn't even score a single point that season in 1999. So
sure.
that's
Yeah.
got
That's it.
hallmarks
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah. Look at
But I think,
Toyota, Jaguar,
yeah,
all those
Mm,
teams.
yeah, they all come
yeah,
in, all guns blazing, and then they
Yeah.
find out how difficult it really is. And
sure.
then soon change the tune, don't they?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think Audi, with the pedigree that they have in motorsport, that they eventually do win. They
Yeah.
do
Of
win. They
course.
are
Yeah.
successful. But
Mm.
obviously, Rome wasn't built in a day. So,
Yeah.
It's longevity, isn't it, in the sport? And
Yeah.
I
yeah.
think that isn't there set up in two different. Isn't one in Switzerland and then their Audi's obviously in Germany? Like, aren't they in different places, setting the
Yeah. Which probably
building the
doesn't
cars
help.
somewhere, and
Yeah.
won't help at all. I mean,
Well,
that's
I think that's
difficult.
the same with Haas, isn't it? Because they've
Yeah.
got,
Yeah.
is it
Yeah,
in
England and
Minneapolis?
America. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it's bizarre.
So
You
it's took
know,
them a while, but they do have a better car this year. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
probably
yeah.
not exactly where Gene Haas thought his team would be, 7, 8 years down the line.
No.
But
No.
Well,
I think
there's another example. Yeah,
they're using Toyota's wind tunnel, which obviously
Right.
Sauber used, but I think it was Toyota's in Cologne.
Yeah, that's it, Cologne, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
remember Mike Gascoigne used to go off
Yeah.
the plane from here to Cologne every week.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
following
Yeah.
him.
Wild.
He was
Yeah,
probably
it's
getting paid
crazy.
very well for it as well.
Yes, yes, yeah, very, very well indeed. So, Adam, barring aside, obviously this weekend, Singapore Grand Prix, for the title, driver's title, do you think it's going to be Max? I think Lando might pinch it. What do you think?
I think it's going to be. I think Max is going to edge it just, and I think he's going to edge it just by.
Yeah.
I think the number of points is going to be single digit at the rate it's going. Obviously, if it keeps on going as it is, obviously he has a lot of trouble with his rear end, Max. Like obviously Red Bull, when they've upgraded something in Barcelona, they need to sort of backtrack and un-engineer all the parts that they've put on the car, because obviously prior to that it was a rocket ship.
Yeah,
McLaren sort of were just about hanging on. But since then, he hasn't won since was it in Canada? Was it the last one in Canada?
I think it was,
So that was in June.
Yeah.
That was in June. So by the time we get to the next Grand Prix, it's middle of October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who would have thought that in the summer?
I know, absolutely. I mean, McLaren are doing their best to try and lose it as well, aren't they? I mean, they should have won the last, well, I won't say what happened today, but they should have won prior to today, they should have won 3.
They should have won Silverstone. That was theirs to lose.
It was a 1-2 every day. Yeah. That was a 1-2 for them, should have been, so it's crazy. I see them throwing it away or these papaya rules. I mean, what's all that about? Just get serious and stop with all this stuff,
Oh, it's
just
ridiculous.
sit the guys down.
Papaya just come. If they're talking on Sky about papaya, it's where's this come?
Yeah. It's like it's just too nice.
They're trying
to
win
me.
the championship. They're trying to do it nicely to each other.
Yeah, you can't do that.
They're trying to not
sit them
upset
down
the
and
other
tell
driver.
them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So you tell me if Senna would stick for that, he wouldn't.
No.
He'd be like,
no, Michael, forget it.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
None of them.
Alonso wouldn't take it. Senna wouldn't take it.
No.
Schumacher wouldn't take it. They wouldn't take it. The top elite drivers would never take such a thing.
No.
And
absolutely.
if they did, they'd do what Senna and Prost did. Imola '89 was it on the restart when Senna said, "Well, it's not the start. We've had the start. It was a restart."
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Work
around it. Yeah. In terms of Ferrari, Adam, what do you think about ourselves in terms of Charles and Carlos and the Constructors' Championship for ourselves?
Yeah, I think for us, for Ferrari, I think our strategy has been not too bad over the most recent races, but prior to that, some of the decisions that are made is like you can see for miles it's the wrong decision.
Yeah.
You can see for miles, and we've lost a lot of points based on bad strategy on the pit wall.
Yeah, 100%.
Some of the decisions that we're just throwing away points and podiums like constantly. It's like, well, what are you doing? Like, I'm sat here. I can tell you what's going to happen before it's happened because it's that obvious, and you do the opposite.
Yeah.
So we've lost a lot of points this season, but to be fair to them, over the last sort of 5-6 races, they have knuckled down, and the strategy has been much, much better.
Yeah.
Prior to that, first half of the season, especially last year.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bad.
I think my favourite one is putting Charles out on Inter as well on a dry track. I mean that's unbelievable. Like, well, what are you doing?
Well, it was just the opposite what they did in Montreal. put him on the slicks on the wet track. What's going on? Like,
it's ridiculous.
That is bad. I mean, that is bad. But as they say, room for improvement.
Adam, obviously Formula One's our passion. It's obviously huge. There's so many other motorsport series out there. Do you watch any other series apart from Formula One?
I always keep an eye on Formula 2, Formula 3, but 2 races a weekend, that they have, and then obviously we have 2 practice, a 3rd practice, a quali and a race. Like sometimes you can't quite follow everything all the time when it happens. So sometimes I would, watch those and catch up and things like that. But you always got to keep an eye on F2 and F3 because then you get a feel for who's coming through to F1 eventually.
Yeah.
So obviously, Kimi Antonelli obviously bypassed F3 completely. Mercedes have just bypassed him completely, which I don't agree with sometimes. Because they've got to earn the stripes, and obviously, if they're that good, put them in F3. If they're going to be that good, they'll dominate that, and then put them up into F2. But it's almost like since Kimi Raikkonen arrived, like obviously he sort of was the first one that really didn't do all that kind of stuff. That plucked him out of Formula Renault.
Yeah.
He'd only had like 26 car races in his entire career, and then put him into Formula One.
Yeah.
And I mean, Jensen Button was a little bit like that as well when obviously Williams picked him up in 2000. It's like one season in British Formula 3, which I don't think he was that spectacular at that time. And obviously they took a gamble on him because Alex Zanardi was absolutely dreadful in 1999. Williams. So obviously they needed to find somebody and save a little bit of money. That would also please BMW, the new engine partner coming in at that time.
So, me and Toby are well into our World Endurance Championships now. Ferrari are back in the hypercar class. Do you watch any of that at all?
I'm going to be honest and say no, I don't actually, because there's just that much going on. Sometimes it's for time and stuff like that. And obviously, I know it was last week it was Suzuka. Obviously, I always make sure I'm up for that one. With Formula One, but I wish we had access to Super Formula because that is brilliant. Bits and pieces that I've seen of that racing is brilliant. And like Liam Lawson, I think he's fantastic, and I hope he does come into Formula One next year. Because I think of the current crop of naturally talented drivers that have the speed, I think he's the best one. Even though he's under Red Bull, whatever, you've just got to at least sometimes just say, look, he is fantastic. Just nurture him. Obviously you can't let him sit on the sidelines for too long.
No.
Because that it'll sort of water down and dilute his talent because he needs to keep racing all the time.
I think he might get his wish, to be honest. I think today might have been Ricciardo's final push. I think that's certainly the rumours. So who knows if Liam's coming in for him? But that's the way
I hope he does because I think he's brilliant. And even when he did stand in last year, he was better than Tsunoda most of the time.
True.
They obviously back Tsunoda a lot, but he's not quite good enough for obviously the Red Bull seat. But he's there is a sort of a safe bet. V-carb.
I think there's a lot of those guys coming in who are showing the teams, there are other opportunities. There is other talent out there that we might be looking at because drivers like Bottas, what's he doing there? Like, he doesn't need to be there. Perez doesn't need to be there. Like, they could get rid of those guys and get fresh blood in and rejuvenate the team and rejuvenate the passion. And, I think it's worth a shot because they can't do any worse as far as I'm sure they can, but realistically, they're not going to, are they? So
Bottas. I think he as much as he has had good races in the past for Mercedes, but he's not there. If you put an Alonso in that car, he'll probably drag it up to 13th, 12th, but they're just hogging, keeping that back row of the grid nice and warm. I'd replace him, Ricciardo as well. And I mean,
I understand the Ricciardo
and then there's the
thing.
Hot topic. I mean, we could go off on a tangent here about Lance Stroll. He's another one that we could talk about, but that's probably an episode in itself.
Absolutely, we can't call him what other people call him. The window licker, I think, is what the rocket powered mohawk guy calls him. It cracks me up. But talking about people sitting on the side. Piastri was another guy who sat on the sidelines for 15, 18 months or something, and look, amazing. Get in the car. He's probably one of the hottest properties in Formula One right now, as far as talent and what the future holds for him. I think
his
he's mustard.
temperament's very good. His temperament is excellent.
Yeah.
He's
incredibly fast. Incredibly fast. Paul, you've got a little game you played last time.
Oh yeah, as we come to the end of the podcast, a little game. Guess the height of the driver. Myself and Toby had a go last time, and what was the score, Toby? Can you remember?
You won 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
2-1.
Yes, right. Yeah.
So
but
got three
but to be fair,
here,
you did guess Tsunoda's height as 5'5", which is mental, by the way.
I was only 3 off. No, sorry, he's 5 foot. Was he 5 foot?
He's 5 foot. You put 5'5".
He's less than 5'5". Yeah. He's definitely less than that.
Yeah, I don't know where I went with that, but anyway.
No, I don't know. Just being kind to me. I think
he's got quite a bouffant, so I was thinking of that as well. Anyway, got 3 drivers here. Obviously, the closest to the correct height gets the point. There's 3 drivers, so there will be a winner, 2-1 or 3-0, I guess, unless you'll say the same amount to the same height. Anyway, so we're going to start with Alex Albon. So Adam, you're the guest. You can go first on this one.
I'm gonna say 6'1".
Right, 6'1".
He's one of the taller ones.
Yeah.
And I do know there is a height limit as well.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm going to keep that under my hat just for now.
So over to you, Toby. What are you thinking?
I'm going to go with 6 foot.
6 foot. Okay, cool. We're going to come to the answers at the end, by the way. So I've got the results from that one. Moving on.
Can I change it? Can I change it to 5'5"? No, I'll stick with 6 foot. I'll stick with
6 foot. Okay, fine.
Yeah, sorry. Go on.
Okay, so moving on to Lando Norris. How tall is Lando Norris? Toby, you can go first on this one.
He's quite. I'm going to go with 5'5". 5'5".
5'5". Okay.
Yeah.
Over to you, Adam. What are you thinking?
5'7". I'm going to go with.
I'm going to go 5'7". Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And I'm going to go with a driver outside of the current grid. Our man, Eddie Irvine. So we're going to go with you first, Adam. Eddie Irvine. How tall is Eddie Irvine?
Eddie Irvine.
One of my favourites.
I think he was one of about 5'10". He wasn't massive, but he wasn't small either.
Cool.
Yeah, I was going to say 5'10". All right, I'm going to have to change it. 5.
You can go the same, Toby. We can have a tiebreaker if it was the same. I'm not saying it is, but you don't have to pick a different height.
I'm going to go with 5'9". I'm going to go one under. Yeah, I think he's probably a little short.
Okay,
go on.
So we'll go back to we'll go for the results now. So we go back to Alex Albon. One of you got it correct. And Alex Albon is 6'1". Sorry, Toby. 1-0 to Adam. Goal to Adam. Lando Norris.
Yeah.
Toby, you went 5'5", I think.
I did, yeah.
And then Adam went 5'7". He is 5'6".
Oh wow!
So half a point each, I think, for that. Fair enough. The result there. Eddie Irvine is just check. Toby, you went 5'9", was it? Adam, you went 5'10", I think.
Yeah, 5'10". Yeah.
One of you is correct.
No, it's not
so this could mean we go for a tiebreaker or we have a winner.
Go on.
Eddie Irvine is 5'10".
Oh.
Well done, Adam. You win 2.5 to Toby's half. So you did even better than I did against Toby. So well done.
I'm a failure. I'm a failure.
Good little game. Guess the height of the driver. I like that.
Fantastic. So well done, Adam. You are our winner against the resident podcaster.
Yeah, hopeless. I'm bloody hopeless. Yeah. Oh, well. Okay, Adam, it's been fabulous having you on. Thanks so much for coming. It's a thrill. It's always great to speak to fellow Tifosi, and the passion is strong for sure, as is your knowledge. So thank you so much for coming on. It's been great.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me on. It's been a pleasure to be part of this podcast today. So Great to be able to speak to other Tifosi and other like-minded, Formula One fanatics such as myself.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.